the floor where they drop like bombs. Faceless voices running all the cons. Digital whispers in the binary night. No light, no face, pure sound, no sight. Stories unfold in the dark unscrolled. Echoes of silence, secrets untold. Waves crash loud in this audio cave. No mic, no fame, just the sound we crave. Tune and turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just a vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. In shadows, voices untamed. No need for spotlight, no claim to fame. Just a beat of life in a stream of thought. Every word a punchline, no need to be taught. Just listen close, no visuals needed. Raw conversation, unprocessed, unseated. Feel the pulse in every sentence said. No distractions, just thoughts in your head. Whispers of the streets, rumbling through. Faceless yet vivid, a world in view. No mic, just souls, connecting in flow. Pure and raw, let the rhythm go.
Physical objects are conceptually imported into the situation as convenient intermediaries, not by definition in terms of experience, but simply as irreducible posits comparable, epistemologically, to the gods of Homer. For my part I do, quale a physicist, believe in physical objects and not in Homer's gods, and I consider it a scientific error to believe otherwise. But in point of epistemological footing, the physical objects and the gods differ only in degree and not in kind. Both sorts of entities enter our conceptions only as cultural posits. W. V. Quine. Willard Van Orman Quine 1908–2000 was a highly influential American philosopher and logician known for his significant contributions to logic, epistemology, philosophy of language, and metaphysics. He famously challenged the analytic-synthetic distinction, arguing against a fundamental difference between statements true by meaning and those true by fact. Quine advocated for a naturalized epistemology, viewing philosophy as continuous with empirical science. His famous dictum, "To be is to be the value of a variable," reflects his focus on ontological commitment based on our best scientific theories. He also developed the concepts of the indeterminacy of translation and ontological relativity, highlighting the underdetermination of theories by evidence. Willard Van Orman Quine was born on June 25, 1908, in Akron, Ohio. His father was an engineer and businessman, and his mother was a teacher. From a young age, Quine displayed a keen interest in intellectual pursuits, particularly science and philosophical questions. He was intrigued by concepts like heaven and hell as a child and was given James's pragmatism by his brother, which fascinated him. After graduating high school, he attended Oberlin College, where he initially majored in mathematics but was drawn to the philosophy of mathematics after discovering Bertrand Russell's work, especially Principia Mathematica. His time at Oberlin was intellectually stimulating, and he graduated with a BA in mathematics in 1930. Quine then pursued graduate studies at Harvard University, focusing on philosophy and logic. He completed his PhD in just 2 years, in 1932, under the supervision of Alfred North Whitehead, with a dissertation on Whitehead and Russell's work. This early period laid the foundation for his lifelong engagement with logic and philosophy, marked by a rigorous and analytical approach. Quine's doctoral dissertation, A System of Logistic, completed at Harvard in 1932 and published in 1934, was a technical work in mathematical logic. It focused on developing a system of logic based on concatenation, demonstrating his early and deep engagement with formal logical systems. This work, while significant in showcasing his logical prowess, didn't immediately address the broader philosophical questions that would later define his major contributions. New Foundations 1937, this is the title of Quine's paper published in 1937, proposing an axiomatic set theory as an alternative to the standard Zermelo-Fraenkel set theory ZF. The primary motivation behind New Foundations was to avoid the set-theoretic paradoxes like Russell's paradox without resorting to the complex hierarchy of types found in Russell's work. Instead, New Foundations employs a different principle for set comprehension, allowing the formation of a set XX only if the formula X is stratified. Stratification is a syntactic condition that prevents self-referential paradoxes. While New Foundations has been studied extensively in logic and the foundations of mathematics, it hasn't replaced ZF as the standard foundation. Another notable work from this period was his 1948 paper, On What There Is, which introduced his famous criterion of ontological commitment, to be is to be the value of a variable. In this paper, he explored the implications of our logical language for what we are committed to believing exists, setting the stage for his later discussions on ontology and the nature of existence. These works, while perhaps not as widely discussed as Two Dogmas, were crucial in developing Quine's philosophical framework, demonstrating his evolving ideas on logic, ontology, and the relationship between language and reality, all of which culminated in his influential critique of empiricism. In the years between his dissertation and the publication of Two Dogmas of Empiricism in 1951, Quine continued to work extensively on logic and the philosophy of logic. This period saw the publication of several important works that laid the groundwork for his later, more radical philosophical views. His 1937 paper, New Foundations for Mathematical Logic, presented an alternative to Russell's theory of types for avoiding set-theoretic paradoxes, demonstrating his innovative approach to the foundations of mathematics. His book Mathematical Logic, first published in 1940 and revised in 1951, became a standard text and showcased his systematic treatment of the field. Duhem, Quine thesis developed over time. Quine's version significantly articulated in Two Dogmas of Empiricism, 1951, this thesis, building on the work of physicist and philosopher Pierre Duhem, argues that our scientific theories face the tribunal of experience as a whole, rather than individual hypotheses being tested in isolation. When an observation conflicts with our predictions, it doesn't necessarily falsify a specific hypothesis but rather indicates a problem somewhere within the interconnected web of our beliefs. We have a degree of freedom in deciding which part of our theory to revise to accommodate the recalcitrant evidence. This holism about testing implies that individual scientific statements are not directly and definitively confirmed or refuted by experience. Word and Object 1960. This is arguably Quine's magnum opus. In this comprehensive work, he delves deeply into the philosophy of language, epistemology, and ontology. He elaborates on the indeterminacy of translation, the idea that there is no uniquely correct way to translate between languages, as different translation manuals, compatible with all observable behavior, could yield different interpretations of meaning. He also develops his behaviorist approach to language learning and meaning, emphasizing the role of observable behavior and social interaction. Furthermore, the book explores ontological relativity, the thesis that what counts as an object of our theories is relative to the conceptual scheme we adopt. Word and Object is a dense and challenging work that has had a profound impact on subsequent philosophical thought. Ontological Relativity and Other Essays 1969, this collection of essays further develops and clarifies some of the key ideas introduced in Word and Object. The title essay explicitly lays out the argument for ontological relativity, illustrating how our understanding of objects and their identity is relative to our background theory. Other essays in the collection address topics such as naturalized epistemology, the inscrutability of reference, a closely related idea to the indeterminacy of translation, focusing on the difficulty of definitively fixing the reference of terms, and the nature of truth. This collection served to make Quine's complex ideas more accessible and to extend their application to various philosophical domains. The Roots of Reference 1973, in this book, Quine focuses specifically on how we learn to refer to objects and acquire language in our early years. He adopts a naturalistic and developmental perspective, examining the behavioral and social processes involved in the acquisition of reference. He emphasizes the role of Ausensein pointing and the learning of observation sentences as foundational to our understanding of the world and our ability to communicate about it. This work provides a more detailed account of the empirical basis of language and meaning, consistent with his naturalized epistemology. Quine, Putnam indispensability argument jointly developed with Hilary Putnam, particularly in Putnam's Mathematics, Matter, and Method, 1975, building on Quine's ideas. This argument for mathematical realism contends that we should believe in the existence of mathematical entities like numbers, sets, functions because they are indispensable to our best scientific theories, particularly in physics. Since we have good reason to believe in our best scientific theories, and these theories are inextricably intertwined with mathematics, we should also believe in the mathematical entities they quantify over. Rejecting the existence of mathematical entities would require us to reconstruct our scientific theories in a way that avoids any reference to them, a project that seems practically impossible and would likely render our science far less powerful and effective. Theories and Things 1981, this collection of essays covers a wide range of topics, including the nature of truth, the relationship between science and philosophy, and further reflections on ontological relativity and naturalized epistemology. It offers further refinements and applications of Quine's core philosophical ideas, often engaging with the work of other contemporary philosophers. The essays in this volume demonstrate the continued evolution and application of his philosophical system to various issues in metaphysics and epistemology. Pursuit of Truth 1990, this later work provides a more concise and accessible overview of Quine's epistemological views. He reiterates his commitment to naturalism, emphasizing the role of empirical evidence and scientific methodology in our pursuit of knowledge. He discusses the web of belief metaphor and how our theories are tested and revised in light of experience. While more streamlined than some of his earlier works, it still presents his distinctive perspective on the nature of truth and justification. Willard Van Orman Quine died on December 25, 2000, at the age of 92 in Boston, Massachusetts. His death marked the end of a long and remarkably influential career in philosophy and logic. Even in his later years, Quine remained intellectually active, continuing to write and engage with philosophical ideas. His passing was noted with significant recognition within the academic world, acknowledging the profound impact his work had on shaping 20th-century analytic philosophy. He left behind a vast legacy of writings that continue to be studied and debated, ensuring his enduring influence on philosophical discourse. As an empiricist, I continue to think of the conceptual scheme of science as a tool, ultimately, for predicting future experience in the light of past experience. Physical objects are conceptually imported into the situation as convenient intermediaries, not by definition in terms of experience, but simply as irreducible posits comparable, epistemologically, to the gods of Homer. For my part, I do, quale physicist, believe in physical objects and not in Homer's gods, and I consider it a scientific error to believe otherwise. but in point of epistemological footing the physical objects and the gods differ only in degree and not in kind. Both sorts of entities enter our conception only as cultural posits. The myth of physical objects is epistemologically superior to most in that it has proved more efficacious than other myths as a device for working a manageable structure into the flux of experience. Willard van Orman Quine, From a Logical Point of View, 9 Logico-Philosophical Essays. Willard van Orman Quine received numerous awards and honors throughout his distinguished career. Here is a list of some of the most notable ones. Rolf Skok Prize in Logic and Philosophy 1993, awarded by the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences for his systematical and penetrating discussions of how learning of language and communication are based on socially available evidence and of the consequences of this for theories on knowledge and linguistic meaning. 1 Kyoto Prize in Arts and Philosophy 1996, presented by the Inamari Foundation for his significant contributions to the development of contemporary philosophy by rejecting the analytic synthetic distinction and naturalizing epistemology based on a holistic and systematic linguistic framework. Harvard Pollacky Gold Medal 1991. Charles University Gold Medal Prague, 1993. N. M. Butler Gold Medal, Columbia University 1970. In addition to these prestigious awards, Quine received 18 honorary degrees from universities across the globe, including, Oberlin College, Washington University, University of Chicago, Oxford University, Cambridge University, Uppsala University, University of Bern, Harvard University, University of Lille. He was also elected to numerous distinguished learned societies, Society of Fellows, Harvard University Junior Fellow 1933 to 1936, Senior Fellow 1949 to 1978. American Academy of Arts and Sciences II elected 1949. National Academy of Sciences elected 1977. British Academy elected 1959. Institut de France elected 1978. Norwegian Academy of Science and Letters elected 1979. Instituto Brasileiro de Filosofia elected 1963. These accolades reflect the profound and lasting impact of Willard van Orman Quine's work on the fields of philosophy, logic, and beyond.
Mics on the floor where they drop like bombs. Faceless voices running all the cons. Digital whispers in a binary night. No light, no face, pure sound, no sight. Stories unfold in the dark unscrolled. Echoes of silence, secrets untold. Waves crash loud in this audio cave. No light, no fame, just the sound we crave. Tune in, turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just the vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. Hidden in shadows, voices untamed. No need for spotlight, no claim to fame. Just the beat of life in a stream of thought. Every word a punchline, no need to be taught. Just listen close, no visuals needed. Raw conversation, unprocessed, unseated. Feel the pulse in every sentence said. No distractions, just thoughts in your head. Whispers of the streets, rumbling through. Faceless yet vivid, a world in view. No mic, just souls, connecting in flow. Pure and raw, let the rhythm go. Pure and raw. Pure and raw. touch and feel. Tune in, turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just a vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. Pure and raw. Okay.